The San Francisco 49ers traveling to Seattle. Big divisional matchup here between two teams that obviously have playoff aspirations. They've done a lot this offseason. The Niners really attacked one of their biggest weaknesses in run defense this year with some rookies, but I think I'll get into that a little bit more. What's your talking point here with the 49ers and the Seahawks?
So on Seattle's offensive side, I've put the spotlight on Clint Kubiak a lot this offseason because I think that's really the key is how he gels this offensive line together, his chemistry with Sam Darnold, having worked with him in San Francisco, ironically, before, right? And just how much Seattle can run the football first and foremost before they get into the play action schemes and the deep shots and whatever you want with Jackson Smith and Jigba and maybe even Torrey Horton, the rookie on the outside starting now, right? And Cooper Kupp and everything going on there. But I think at the end of the day, Clint Kubiak wants to run the football. What we saw from Seattle in the preseason showed us that maybe, just maybe, they can do that, right? The interior of the offensive line, it's going to be Gray Zabel, the rookie out of North Dakota State, the first-round pick at left guard. His North Dakota State teammate, his former teammate Jalen Sundell, is going to start at center with still an injury to Olu Oluwatimi. And then Anthony Bradford at right guard. This is the unit they're going to go with. That's the unit I'm watching. And when you look at this 49ers run defense last year, they had the fifth worst run defense grade in the NFL last season. They just, other than Nick Bosa, especially on this defensive line, there's just nothing to work with. Now, they've drafted some guys that you hope can be available and playing well for them, but Mykel Williams, I think he just started practicing again this week or maybe late last week. Alfred Collins, a second-round rookie. C.J. West, a fourth-round rookie. We're relying on a lot of young kids and a lot of veterans who haven't played well in recent years. And if you look specifically at the 49ers run defense against outside zone, which is only weird because they see it in practice every single day in their own practices against Kyle Shanahan, the numbers are even worse. 29th in run defense grade against outside zone last year. The highest rate of negative grades given to their players in the league when they see outside zone plays, especially on the D-line. It's rough. 29th in yards per carry allowed. And there it is right there, that last number. Last in the NFL against outside zone and yards before contact allowed. That tells me everything I need to know about the first level. We already knew it, Trevor, but we have the numbers behind it that this defensive line just does not make enough plays in run defense. And now you've got, yes, a bunch of kids in there and a bunch of talented kids, all three of them, Williams and West and Collins. I like all of them as prospects. But you're asking to significantly improve on this right here, right now. Basically, what the 49ers run defense last year was Fred Warner, save us. Please make every play you possibly can. And teams running off the edge in these outside zone schemes. Look, Fred Warner can only get to so much, right? So I think this is a huge key for Seattle's offense, for San Francisco's defense. Which of these really young units steps up in this game? If Seattle can run the football and Clint Kubiak gets in a rhythm and gets the layers of the offense going, I really like the Seahawks. If San Francisco can stop the run and make Darnold beat them in 3rd and 8 and beat their secondary and Fred Warner in coverage and all of that, then it starts to tilt towards them. But Seattle's run game is what I'm watching the most in this game.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of the talking points are going to start with this game, right? That Seattle is good at running the football. The San Francisco 49ers were terrible at defending it. And it's going to be a little bit of a sneak peek of, hey, were the guys that you drafted, are they going to get off to a fast start here because you drafted those guys for run defense? CJ West, Alfred Collins, Mykel Williams. Like, are those guys going to be able to be factors for you in week one? I think is really, really important. You know, on San Francisco's side of things, on the offensive side of things, I think Brock Purdy will be fine, right? Brock Purdy's going to be Brock Purdy. He's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL. But people talk about his passing weapons and really the lack of passing weapons with Brandon Ayuk and DeMarcus Robinson not there. Juwan Jennings has been hurt. They have Ricky Pearsall. They have Marquez Valdez-Scantling now who they picked up. But I think a lot of people are just worried about the passing weapons that he has to throw to. George Kittle is there. But even through all of that, I think that Christian McCaffrey and the value that he has to this team is just so massive. And I know people have talked about it from a national perspective earlier this week, but Christian McCaffrey's value it cannot be understated. In the years in which Christian McCaffrey has started more than 10 games in a single season, that's 2018, 2019, 2022, and 2023. He was the most valuable running back in the NFL according to PFF wins above average all 4 seasons. When Christian McCaffrey plays, he is the best running back in the NFL. He is the most valuable and most impactful running back in the NFL. And we saw that 2 years ago with San Francisco, how much of a difference maker he was when he joined that team. And so if Christian McCaffrey is fully healthy and if they get him for a fully healthy season, that could honestly be the ticket to the 49ers making the playoffs, contending for that division, potentially winning the division again, maybe even more so than their run defense. Like if the run defense is okay, just like a little bit better, but it's still not exactly where you want it to be. If the offense can move the ball the way that it has when Christian McCaffrey has been out there, whether he was with Carolina or with the San Francisco 49ers, that might be enough. So I'm really, really excited to see this game because these are two teams who are gunning for the top of that division. Certainly the Rams and the Cardinals and everything. I think this is going to be one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. But I think that what the 49ers offense is with Christian McCaffrey cannot be overstated. And I think that it's worth pointing out how valuable he is at that position as the most valuable running back in football when he's been fully healthy. I had the Seahawks winning the NFC West. And yet I have the San Francisco 49ers winning this game because I just feel as though it's going to take a little bit of time for the Seahawks and the offensive line to gel the way that they want to, the way that you talked about their potential to gel together. And the defense is going to take a little bit of time as well. And I think specifically Sam Darnold. Things are going to take a little bit of time with Sam Darnold. So ultimately, I think that the 49ers are going to come out of the gate pretty hot. And I'm going to have them win this game by a field goal, 27-24. What do you think?
I have the same exact score, but the other way. I have Seattle 27-24. I think they are going to get this run game going. I think Clint Kubiak is really going to lean on this offensive line, even though they're so young, but I think they're talented enough to beat up this 49ers defensive line. You don't want to get in too many obvious passing situations. You still have Nick Bosa looming over there, probably going to see a lot of Abraham Lucas in this game, but I also trust Seattle's defense, right? And you're talking about a team, yes, they get McCaffrey back. We don't necessarily, I'm not 100% sure what that's going to look like this early. Still no Brandon Ayuk, and Brock Purdy's passing numbers went way down without Brandon Ayuk last year. Jawan Jennings just practiced yesterday for the first time in over a month, so even if he plays, we don't know if he's going to be in great football shape. You've got Ricky Pearsall, but there's injuries to the depth of this receiving core. There's injuries, especially at the safety position on defense for the 49ers. I actually don't trust their defense enough to control the pace of this game and stop the run. I'm going to trust Seattle in that young offensive line and Sam Darnold and Clint Kubiak, and honestly, Mike McDonald's defense is still a very underrated unit. I like Seattle in this game at home, 27-24.
I can't wait for that game. I'm so excited for this game. I'm so excited that it is a 4 p.m. game just because I feel like we'll get to hone in on this one a little bit more and what a matchup this is going to be.